How's it going?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good, doing well.
Yeah, nice. Thanks for willing to come back.
Oh yeah, of course. No, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So when you did audition for Engage, was it specifically for Nell or was it other characters?
Specifically for now, yeah. Although I didn't know what I was auditioning for at the time.
Well, it is really cool too because I noticed right away that most of the people that play new characters in Engage are people that hadn't had a cast in like a mainline Fire Emblem game yet.
Oh yeah, yeah, a lot of new faces. It's yeah, a lot of I guess they kind of have to, right? Because hopefully eventually everybody gets funneled into heroes. You want to happen for riot.
Yeah. So could you immediately relate to her?
Yes. I want to say yes. I liked her. I felt drawn to her as soon as I met her, I guess I should say. Um but I do think it took like kind of partway into the first session and especially driving to the second one when I really felt like we had connected, like I understood a little bit more of what she was thinking and feeling. I feel like sometimes you need to be in it a little bit, especially they're so.
Was there any basis off the Japanese performance too, or no?
Uh no, I don't think that I listened to the Japanese voice reference for this
What was
one.
what was the experience working with Patrick and Christian?
Oh, so great. I've always hoped that because I met Patrick years ago and I'd always hoped that we would get an opportunity to work together. So it was just a great dream come true all around. And he's a fantastic director and so much fun to work with him and Chris both.
Which aspects of her could you relate the most to then?
Mhm. I think the thing about Nell for me that hits the hardest, maybe two things. There's that uh I'm an oldest child myself, so that the kind of weight of responsibility I think is a big part of her experience, right? That everyone is looking to her, and even when they aren't, she feels like they are. Um, that's something that I can definitely relate to. And then the longing attached to her relationship with, especially with Alir, is I think something of a universal experience. I think we've all had the experience of losing a connection with somebody that we cared very much about and navigating that pain and the things that it I don't know, the colors your perspective.
What about the biggest differences between you and her?
Golly. Well, she's so it's the kind of person that I really love stepping into because she's so confident and self-possessed always and decisive. Even when she is kind of secretly second guessing herself, you never know it that she's just very, and being a little bit of a anxious, frenetic person in reality. It's nice to kind of get to inhabit uh, a self that, pardon me, um, but just doesn't have those same kind of reservations.
Mhm. What about your favorite sports that she has with other characters?
Oh, golly. Who is it that she man, you have to forgive me. I just replayed through the Xenologue, but right after it came out, but then I handed it off to my partner so he could play it. So I haven't
Okay,
had a chance to go back through everything. There's one talking about spicy food, spicy peppers. Anyway,
uh,
I like the opportunity. It's cute to see her being cute and kind of letting her guard down a little bit.
mhm.
Which she kind of does with all of her wins to a certain point. You see her with her, little found family. Um, it's always very endearing.
Is it like a separate category for like favorite pack ring supports that she has too, or
Oh god, you know, I had the hardest time. I will admit I'm terrible with optimization, so I kept switching them around, kind of trying to figure out which was the one. There's certain characters that I'm like, "This is the right ring. You will never take this off again." And then there's certain people that I was like, "I can't quite figure out the line of best fit." Um, so no, not offhand.
okay.
I mean, it's always like, I do like equipping, certain characters that I myself have, like, that I feel a strong connection to just to, like, hear my voice summoning, you know, Lucina or or Hector. Somebody makes me very, like, little makes me feel a little silly joy.
I'm sure there's probably a number of them, but do you have any single favorite lines for her?
My springboard line, whenever I would be going in, it would always because they would play it for me for voice reference. So when I would be so that what I always think of is that just, "I've said it before and I will say it again," you know, to Nell telling him that he's not, now I can't remember the exact phrasing 'cause it's been a little minute, but that's always the one that pops to mind.
What were your thoughts about the four hounds or the four winds?
Um, I mean, it's really it's fun because on the one hand, it's neat to see a different, these like well, it's funny because a friend of mine just asked me because he hadn't had a chance to play the Xenologue yet. He was like, "Can you sum up for me what the differences are? I hear that they're like complete opposites." And I was thinking about it and I'm like, some of them are, of course, like Gregory, I think is the most dramatic, like mustache alternate universe self. But I kind of felt like the others, some of them were a lot more subtle of a change. So it really did feel like this possibility. What if yourself had just been exposed to slightly different circumstances, especially for Celestia, that she still, to me, felt very similar to the way that she behaved in the base game, just with the opportunity to be kinder with the people that she was surrounding herself with didn't um just didn't influence her in that same way where she became cruel because even in the base game she's still very caring in her way.
Yeah.
um and the same with Marnie. I felt like Madeline, I'd like get there which name is which, but either way the little girl, um I felt like she wasn't completely different from herself, but her motivation was just like a little bit. So it's kind of like the kids in Awakening when you think about, even though the dialogue does not change, when you change their parents and you think about the way the circumstances of their growing up, those lines start to mean something a little bit different. I thought with the Winds, it was a really cool kind of character exploration. It must have been amazing for their voice actors to have that opportunity, but to really think about, you know, it is the same person, the same soul, the same like heart, but just somehow their circumstances shaped them a little bit differently. And I always think that that's fascinating.
What about your thoughts on obviously Nell's relationship with Rafal, her brother?
Oh, I guess anybody watching this interview knows that there's spoilers. I was kind of trying to talk around things, so there's no talking around this one. Um, Again, I guess just that, like I say, the loss is a universal experience, and I feel like a lot of the initial building blocks of that relationship is, you know, even though Nell knows from the very beginning that she has lost her brother, wanting to fill that it's almost kinda ironic now that I'm kind of saying it out loud. I'm like, "You know, it's funny the way she reacts to Aaliyah having already made that, exchange once before," um, but just kinda making the decision to be that person for him. Um, I don't know, it's a really powerful story. And says a lot too about, I think especially at the end, you kind of get this feeling of like, if we had just been more open with each other, if we had just let our walls down a little bit and been more honest, like how much of this could have been avoided or how different could our relationship have been. Always, 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 they're both kind of thinking, you know, I love him, but someday he's going to find out that I knew all along and he's going to resent me for it. And he's thinking, oh, I love her, but someday she's going to realize that I lied to her and she's going to leave me. Um, yeah, it's desperately sad, but it's really that intensity of feeling is really beautiful, and the bond that they share is really beautiful.
Mhm. I do think that the pact ring ending that Nell has to your performance with that is one of the best in the game,
Oh
in the whole
God,
game.
you say that to everyone.
No. Do you have other favorite characters, like in terms of the main cast?
Oh heck yeah, it's a great cast. Like, and I feel like, oh man, there's so many good. Well, Jade has to be my absolute favorite, but it's partially because she's my favorite unit.
Okay.
And I feel like you always have a special bond with the people that you absolutely want to have on your team every map. Um, Marin is fantastic, of course. Yunaka is wonderful. Um, I always forget if they say it Lewis or Louis,
Oh,
but I love him. Hmm?
yeah, it's a Louis.
Thank you. I look at it and anyway, but Louis, great. Such an intensely weird guy. Brilliantly done. And everybody's I mean, I feel like I can't say this, but myself notwithstanding, not passing any judgment, a wonderfully acted and directed game. Like,
Yep.
I think especially Zelkov is another one that I absolutely love. And the performance like sells it. It's so good. Like, there's so many things that he says that like if you were listening to it without the sound, it just wouldn't hit the same way. Although they did try with the asterisks and everything. So hopefully everybody, even if you don't want to, if you're not listening to it, you get the same experience. But yeah.
It sounds like too that you pretty much just get to use your natural voice.
Yeah, this one was very close. Like I said, just slightly different. I think intent goes a long way to placement and cadence. So she's got a slightly different carriage, I think, than I do. But yeah, very close to my speaking voice, which is great.
What?
That means that anything they ask me to do, yelling and all this stuff, it's all very it's all very easy to do without hurting myself.
Yeah. What about your immediate reaction to her character design when you saw that for the first time?
Oh golly, I was so because of course everything's very secret, right? So I can't take it home, but I desperately, desperately want to make that outfit. It's so cool. I like her. I love that they all have the casual outfits that they wear in the Somniel too. I think that that's such a beautiful gift to cosplayers. But yeah,
Do you
no, I love her. I love her outfit.
do you still actively cosplay too, or
Since I have been focusing on my career, it's been a lot harder. And of course, since the pandemic, I haven't been going to as many events, but I'd like to get back into it. Especially, with Engage coming out and there's so many good and some like simple options, I feel like to step back. I don't know if I have quite the stamina for the kind of nights we used to pull when we were really, really going for it.
yeah? When Nell does end up in Heroes, what kind of alts would you like to see her have? Do you think?
Oh golly, which I hope she gets a Halloween one.
Yeah.
I feel like she's got the vibe, right? And I love those so much. I've got the like werewolf Robin, I think is on a bunch of my teams.
Mhm.
And I'd love to see that.
That was the one thing I don't think I asked in our last interview, where who your favorite units are in Heroes, or like who you use the most.
You know, Um, I'm so I that Heroes has so many banners, which is
Yeah.
great, and I feel like the drop rates are incredible for a gacha game. So, I feel like I always have so many people that I want to level that I never settle on a team. Um, I think you did ask me something similar last time, and this the same as then, Dimitri, still my, "Oh, I
Oh,
can't beat this," go-to. I like to try to have Hilda on my team, but I'm not good with mages.
okay. Okay.
A very defensive player, so the kinds of people that die easily, just I can't take them with me. I can't keep them safe.
Yeah, I think one thing that stood out too with when the art dropped of Nell and Rafal, that both their weapons are like very like well designed and cool.
Yeah, yeah. Although with Nell, at least I feel like if you can turn into a dragon, why would you ever hit something with a with a spear or anything else?
Yeah. Were you already well, I guess I don't know what the timeline would have been, but were you already like playing Engage or like excited about Engage before getting it or
Oh yeah, when Engage came, I bought it on the very first day, although I do play games pretty slowly. Um, much to the chagrin of the people that I was sharing the cartridge with. So different than the last couple of installments of Fire Emblem, but really had like a classic feel. Like I really enjoyed I really enjoyed this one.
Mhm. And out of the Fire Emblem cosplays that you've done, is there a favorite one that you have?
uh probably I love Lawrence so much, but it's not the most like easy to wear, especially with the hat. I've got to say maybe Niles from Fates.
Oh yeah.
It's just fun. Also, the only time in my whole life anyone's ever bought me a drink at a bar like a stranger, I was in Niles, which
Oh
felt so appropriate. I was like, this, this is my Fire Emblem come to life moment.
yeah. I would assume too that eventually that you'll have to cosplay as Nell.
Gosh, I hope so. I haven't made armor in so long. So I might cheat and just make her Somniel outfit. Still
Okay.
got that nice, good, fluffy collar.
Yeah. So you must have made a lot of the outfits that you've worn then in the past.
Oh yeah, I make pretty much all of my costume, all my Fire Emblem costumes for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't make my we did Haikyuu and My Hero, and those ones are uniforms, so we bought them, but I
Hmm.
make all the Fire Emblem ones. That's part of the joy of the process for me.
Hmm.
And I sit there and think about like do character study. You know, you have all these hours and hours and hours of sewing and cutting and measuring and things, like a lot of time to kind of marinate in
Hmm.
someone's minutia.
Yeah. Well, is there anything that you want to say to the Engage community?
um I know it's already a $60 game, but the DLC is so worth it. uh but no, just in general, like I love the Fire Emblem community, and thank you everybody for your support, and um yeah, I hope to see everybody at the Fire Emblem gatherings eventually.
Hmm.
I haven't been to a convention in so long.
I don't know if you'd be able to like think of something on the spot, but how do you think Nell would react to like a fan base for her?
With polite and regal dignity. Let's see. No, I think it's probably more on the lines of, thank you for your kind words, but I have just remembered something I urgently need to attend to.
Yeah. So is there anything else that's upcoming or part of you can talk about or?
Oh, golly. Well, Cassette Beasts just dropped on Steam at the end of last month. Um, Other than that, not immediately upcoming, but I've got some stuff that I can't talk about yet, and I hope everybody will be very excited about it.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that we got the chance to talk again.
Yeah, it's always great to talk to you. I'm gonna work hard to get into a base game. That's the next step, right?
Yeah.
Then we can talk again.
Have a good rest of your day then.
Yeah, you too. Thanks so much. Bye.